Good morning, everyone. This is Mary. You are watching another little piece of my art. And today, I thought we'd have a little chat and I'll show you some things about art therapy. Okay? So, just a full disclosure here. So, my father-in-law had a heart attack with a blood clot to the brain on September the 4th, which was a Saturday. A week later, September the 11th, my father had a double massive heart attack. In other words, he had a heart attack. Then when they went to go in and fix it, he had another one. So both of them are still with us, thank God. But have you ever noticed that stress and life situations just sort of come sometimes all in one rush? They just, it's like my grandma used to say, when it rains, it pours. So now my youngest daughter, is in the middle of a breakup, and she is having issues with stalking. And so this stalking from her ex is spilling over into all of our lives, and it's just making things miserable around here. And on top of that, today is the house inspection for my new place that I'm moving into in Florida. So I'm a nervous wreck anyway. When I tell you that I'm a nervous wreck, I am talking nervous wreck. Okay, so yesterday I did a video where I had a piece of watercolor paper and I was showing you guys swatches of different watercolor paints, which that's what these little squares are here. And that's why there's writing on some of them, because like I did the swatch and then wrote underneath what it was. So I had this piece of paper sitting here on the kitchen table with just those little swatches. And as my daughter was sitting here at lunchtime, telling me more details of the new events unfolding in this whole stalking thing, I'm just getting more and more upset and nervous, and I have to do something with my hands when I get to this point. I have packed, I have cleaned, but I needed more. And sorry if you can hear voices, guys. There's 3 properties surrounding me where I live now that are for sale, and the realtors and a bunch of people are outside. So, okay, so then, after I played around with some of the different pastels that I showed you in the last video. So I just made 2 videos. One is showing you my watercolor collection, trying to purge it. And I have to admit that I really stink at purging water. Really, any art supplies. Books is easier for me than art supplies. I don't know, that's just a thing. But yes, in those last 2 videos, I showed you my watercolor collection and then my pastels and water-soluble crayons collection. So if you're confused what I'm even talking about with this piece of paper, you might want to go back and watch the 2 videos that I made about my collection here. So, after I sat here and listened to her, and I just, started picking up different colors and going around the squares of my swatches on this watercolor paper. Because I was like, well, now I've done the swatches. There's some color on it. Let's add some more things to it. And, I'll feel better because I'm doing something with my hands, and I won't be wasting the color the paints that I already put on here. And, maybe I can do something with this piece of paper afterwards. Well, I started really getting into it. I mean, I was going to town with my pastels here. And I covered what I thought at the time. When you're doing it, that you get a lot of like flaking. So sometimes you can't see every little bit of the paper, but I thought I covered most everything. And then I took it outside and I sprayed it with a glitter sealant. Can you see the glitter? So I let that dry, and today I was like, you know what, I wonder what will happen if I go over the top of this again. Okay, like what because I do have some words here left that are, you can still see the Crayola something there, and there's one there, and there's one here, and I like this cool effect right here, just like dragging effect. And I wonder what will happen, and it made me think of my high school art teacher, Mrs. McDonough, who was one of my favorite teachers ever. And she used to always encourage me to become an art teacher, which I never did because OPC, that's other people's children. get on my nerves. So I never did that, but I really enjoyed her. And she told me when I would complain about my art to her, she would say, well, maybe you stop too soon. What happens after this? And sometimes that's what we do. We do our layer and another layer maybe, and we're like, okay, it's covered, that's it, it's done, I'm finished. Well, what happens if you keep going? You could mess it up. It's just a piece of paper. Or you can make something really cool that you like and you learn something. So that's kind of what I wanted to do today. And that's what I'm going to do here in a minute. But I also want to talk to you about art therapy in general in other ways. Suppose you don't have watercolor paper and a collection of different oil pastels. Suppose you don't. So you might have, let me move my coffee over here. You might have a composition notebook. So I've showed this one a few times. It is getting very chubby. It's got all kinds of tabby tabs. Let me pull you up a little bit. It has all kinds of tabs now. And the tabs are fun because it makes me be able to go to a page quickly. But it's also tabs of things I bought. Some solar lights, these blue solar lights. And then I get, people donate like clothes and tabs and things to me. I don't know why. They just know I collect junk, I guess. This was kind of sad. And like this one here is this badminton set that I bought. My son and I play with it 'cause we're the only two people that will actually like run and do sporty things. Everybody else in the family sort of just wants to sit. So I wanted to remember that. I wanted to remember this summer playing badminton on the lawn with my 25-year-old son and everybody else sitting there like lumpy logs. And I think this was a piece of clothes that I bought in Florida, and I love the tag and the way it felt. So this is just what, I like to buy. Now, I have a lot of sketchbooks. I have expensive sketchbooks, cheap sketchbooks. I get very intimidated by a sketchbook sometimes because I feel like I should be doing something worthy on the pages, and maybe what I have to jot down or to express is not good enough. So composition notebooks are great for that because they're 50 cents, $1, depending on what time of year you buy them. They have tons of pages in there, and if you mess it up, oh well, you can take a straight edge and rip that page out, or you can glue something over the top of it. You can just move on, and you don't feel so bad as if you're messing up, a piece of, I have like some sketchbooks that only have 40 pages. If I mess up a page and I only have 39 pages, and what if I do that 10 times? That's how my brain thinks about it. In here I'm doing a lot of like collage stuff and putting in like papers from coloring books where I got rid of the book but saved maybe a part of something that I colored. There's some writing in here. There's all kinds of things in here. But I have been going through like my sticker collection, my washi collection, things that are almost the end. Like how you have a sheet of stickers and there's 2 stickers left on it and you have the whole sheet inside I don't want to bring all that with me, so I'm trying to use some things up. So it's been a lot of fun. And then trying to use up some scrapbook papers. And this one here, it's baseball. It was some scrapbook paper that I think I had bought to document like my grandson playing soccer, and all my kids were in sports when they were little, and I was going to do like a scrapbook related to sports, and I never did it. So I did have some of these papers left over, and I put this down. I'm like, what am I going to do with a page with baseballs on there? I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And it all came together in the end because I thought about if you build it, they will come, right? You remember Field of Dreams? And then I found this picture with some baseball players on there and my new home that I'm going to move into. I wished it. It feels like magic. It's amazing. These are little things that I also had, hoarded for years. This transformation that's coming. So the page all came together. That's what I'm doing in here. And this, I'm telling you all this because it is a form of art therapy as well. It doesn't have to be for anyone's eyes but your own. It doesn't have to mean anything to anyone but you. And it doesn't even have to mean anything to you. It can be totally random. I mean, there's some collage artists that I follow and see that, their pages are completely random and I don't see a theme in there at all, but they still look great. But what I wanted to discuss about this is these. So, I told you guys I took a class from Alyssa Burke, and I want to make a whole. She has playlists, but on her channel, but they're not. How do I want to say this? Like they're not all of the videos that like I want to see. They're mixed. Everything is together. So I want to. Now there's a fly flying around me. Go away. I want to make a playlist of her videos regarding composition, notebook stuff, and then I will put it in my page on a playlist of her videos so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. So how these start, and this is a great thing for a lot of us that color, is, okay, so what I have done here is I have 2 pages of the composition paper because it's thin. I like to glue mine together. She doesn't. Alyssa Burke does not. She leaves hers, thin. I like to glue mine together. Apparently, I missed this whole corner here, but that's okay. I'll fix it. I like to glue mine together, make it a little thicker. Now, what you want to do, and this is great art therapy as well, you want to go and you want to get into your marker collection, and you know how you have that marker, that one that is going to run out. It's not run out yet, but you feel it coming. You know that's going to run out right in the middle of you trying to color a whole entire coloring book picture with it. So you can't throw it away because it's not completely out, but you're scared to use it because it might run out. Okay, go get all those. And this is what you do. You just scribble on these pages, and it feels so good. Just scribble all over these pages in whatever color combinations you want. This particular one reminds me of, is it Good and Plenty or Mike and Ike's? The candy you eat at the movies? It reminds me of that. Go scribble on your pages until that marker runs all the way out. And you can see there's spots here where mine did indeed run all the way out. So that's how you start them. And just, do that again. I did it again here. You can see they were really going out. This was the end of the yellow. This one kind of reminds me of bales of hay or like fall. I don't know. There's something fallish about this one. But anyway, so yes. So that's what I have been doing. And this was one of those marker pages. And all I did was fill it in with some mushrooms. It's not even done yet because I wanted to color in more black in the background. But if I don't, oh well. This took a lot of stress away from me because I don't really think about it. It's not something that I'm planning my pencils, picking my colors, worrying that I'm going out of the lines. All that stuff is gone because I'm just doodling. And everybody has an organic way that they doodle. So from when you were a little child and first picked up a crayon or pencil, you doodled something. Maybe you can ask your parents if you still have parents. Maybe you can ask them, what did you doodle when you were a kid? Mine said that I always doodled flowers. I don't remember. I remember hearts a lot, but maybe that was just being a little girl. I'm not sure, but yeah, everybody has an organic doodle. When you sit on the phone and you sit there doodling on the back of your envelopes, your bills. What do you draw? Well, draw that on top of some pages that you just used up all your old markers. Draw that with a Sharpie. It doesn't even have to come out good, okay? I'm just saying, it doesn't have to come out good, but it's going to make you feel better. And so then I did this one. I don't know if it's done. I don't really care. But I had used all my purple and orange here that was drying up. And I just sketched out this little silly tree, and then I colored the back in with one of those big fat Sharpies. My husband gets them at work, big fat ones. And that made me feel better. So now I have more of these to do, and I have many more pages to go back through with some more markers, because I have not even got into my markers that are under my bed, like a whole Sharpie collection. Yeah, it's bad. So I just wanted to show you like what I have been doing art therapy wise that has been saving me lately, because my collage journal that I've also showed you guys is very relaxing and very zen as well, but I have to think a little more because I want to piece together things that in a certain color scheme. And you know, I want it to be a certain way. I have to cut them out, the images out. And in this, I don't have to do anything. I just have to pick it up, and there's usually a black marker sitting near it. And I just have to make shapes and draw lines and just relieve my mind. So it's kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is, you know, the world, as crazy as it is, it seems like there's one thing after another in terms of just stress and stressors. And, you know, we never know at any moment with the state of the Rona, who's going to be locked down for how long, when, you know, what we're going to do. And all of that tension has to be relieved somehow. You know, you want to relieve it in the most healthy way possible. So that is my end of my preaching part of this. I just wanted to let you guys know how valuable, how much I believe in art therapy, and how much value I think it really has. So I thought we'd doodle on this for a little bit. I'm at 16, like almost 17 minutes. And you might remember that my phone turns off at 30. Even if it says it has space, it still turns off at 30. So I'm not going to go past that. But let me dump these out on the table here so I can see what I'm working with. And as I mentioned in my other video, these oil pastels are older than 2 of my children. These ones, not the fluorescent ones. The fluorescent ones I got at Hobby Lobby, and they were on sale for $1.75. So oil pastels are not an expensive hobby to do, unless you get into the really good brands. So let me see. I want to try to cover up some of these words here and see what happens when we go over the top of something that's already been sprayed. So I'm going to cover that. I'm going to cover this. And let's try some red for this. That'll cover. Yeah, not really covering too well. So let's try what's that one? My gosh, these are so old, you guys. Number 11, it just says red, darker red anyway. Okay, that one's not going to go over it at all. What about a black? We'll get dramatical. There we go. The black will cover. So, where do you see any more? Oh, we got the praying there. Okay, we've got a word over here. And excuse my hair if it gets in this video. I'm trying to lean over here and see. That needs to be covered. I think I see something up here. Alright, I think I have, from what I can see, most of the words covered. So now we can just sort of play with some blending. This is so fun, you guys. Oh my gosh, I just can't even explain to you how relaxing this is to me. It's hard to mess this up Yes, you can get a muddy look to it, but I don't even think that's bad sometimes. It, these ones here, these Hobby Lobby ones, do not cover as thoroughly, so those might want to be your bottom layer if you're going to do something like that. I don't know if anybody else has those or if I'm the only person that happened to come upon the sale that day, but I saw those and I was like, well, I'll try those for, this was about a year or two ago, or 3 maybe. I'll try those for a coloring book. No, they don't like to be on paper, coloring book paper at all. I mean, I'm sure you could blend them out with something, but yeah, they are very inexpensive ones and a little bit harder to work with. So you guys, what do you like to mess with for art therapy? Is coloring in coloring books your main form of art therapy? Do you like to, draw, write, color just in a kid's book or anything else? I'd be really interested in hearing what is your go-to. Okay, so see here how I had missed some spots. We're gonna see if I can fix that. Where'd you go? I have got a number 23 cobalt. We will go right over the top of this here. And we'll go around this one. They're just so creamy, you guys, and sorry for the ambulance. You can see why I'm moving, huh? It's like this all the time. Well, it's also Friday. So, Friday is a very interesting day in my neighborhood. There is a liquor store and a bar on a corner, and the liquor store is connected to a carryout. So they start on Thursday night, basically. People start coming in from wherever they come from. I mean, I'm not sure why, because some of these people, you just never even see these cars again in this area. So I don't know really where they come from or why they come to this particular drive-through, but cars will start flooding and flocking to our drive-through, and then it blocks the street. And that will go on for the entire weekend. Until late Sunday night, and then things go back to normal. So yeah, we're just getting a little too old, I think, to deal with this much action. I mean, I like action. I've always been a city girl, but it's just a lot of crime in this area right now, and there's a homeless camp, which I feel so bad about because my brother has spent time as a homeless person. And I don't think we have the right, what do I want to say, programs in place to help mentally ill people in our country so that they don't become homeless. Because my brother was not a drug addict. He did not do drugs. So, most people have a little a notion that, every homeless person is on drugs or whatever, and he definitely was not that. But he was schizophrenic. So, when these things go untreated, bad things can happen. So, yeah, we have a homeless camp living in the river behind us, and I feel very bad for these people. I totally do. But it's causing a lot of issues with theft and stuff in the neighborhood. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to moving. This is the longest I've ever lived in one house. And it has been, including, my house growing up. And it has been 10 years, I believe. So, yep, I'm ready to roll out. And I got a hair. Sorry about that. So, do you see that we are getting a little more coverage going on here? I still see there's some parts around here that I seem to be missing some color. And that's what I was saying. As you're doing it, you get these flakes, and you might not be able to see everything. So now you got me wondering, Mrs. McDonough, my 10th grade high school art teacher. Was it 10th or 11th or 12th? I don't really remember anymore. It's been so long. Well, what happens, Mrs. McDonough, if I spray this and then do it again tomorrow or another day, whenever I get stressed out in the next 5 minutes? You gotta have a sense of humor about this stuff, you know what I mean? Like, that's one thing I can say is that I do have my flaws, my faults, many of them. But I can say that, you know, I think one of my best qualities is to be able to find a sense of humor in things. If I couldn't laugh, I just don't know how I would even be here, but still at this point. So, if I can put a smile on your face and make you chuckle at my ridiculousness, then it's time well spent. So, what do you think? What do you think, guys? What should I do with this when I'm done? Do you think I should, like, fold it in half and turn it into a journal, maybe? Or throw it in the trash? Or stick it in another journal? What do you think? Should I collage over the top of it? Drop me a line with your ideas. Let me know what you think. I don't have my scratchy tool out here, but I do have a toothpick. So, you remember in school when you used to do that thing where you color a piece of paper and then go over it with a black crayon and then you can scratch? Well, you can do that thing right here on your oil pastel drawings if you have enough layers. So maybe that's what I'll do, guys. I will work on some more layers. I will spray this again to set what I have. I will spray this again, and then I will make some more layers. So if you're interested in this kind of thing and you want to see more of it, let me know, because really I just wanted to chat and vent all my problems to you. So thank you for listening. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.